Well, hello guys. Welcome back to the channel. Now this is a different kind of video. I know you're used to my trip ones, but because it's coming up to Halloween, I thought this time I would tell you about a spooky happening that happened to me in 2003. A haunted ghost story, if you like. Keep watching. Now, if you want to know what I'm drinking, this is blue curacao, which I love, by the way. I don't have it very often, but tonight I felt like I needed to have it because I'm telling you a ghost story. So, in 2003, I'd just gone for a breakup, and I lived on my own then in a house in Stamford in Lincolnshire. I'd lived there for quite a few years beforehand, and now I live by myself. I originally came from Stamford in Lincolnshire. My parents were born in Stamford in Lincolnshire, but they did move to Stamford when I was born. So they decided they wanted to go for Christmas over to Stamford to the Garden House Hotel to stay for a couple of nights. And they phoned me up and they said, "Do you want to come with us?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, why not? I've got nothing else to do. It would be great to, go back to Stamford again, meet some of my old school friends, maybe go for a few drinks, have a good night." So there we have it. We arranged it, and off I went. I do believe I went on the train. I got to Stamford. I met my parents. And then we went to the Garden House Hotel, which is a really old hotel. I'd never been there before. I'd seen pictures because I know that my parents had stayed there previously, but I'd never been there before. Anyway, we went in. We went up to the desk. My parents asked for a room. They gave them a room number. I can't remember which it was, but I know it was on the ground floor. Gave them the key, and then my dad paid for me for a room separately. They gave me the key, and when he gave me the key, I remember he said, "It's room 17, at the top of the stairs in the corner," and I'll never forget room 17. So I went upstairs. They went into their room and I went up the stairs to my bedroom. I got to the door, I looked at it, room 17. I thought, okay, cool. So I unlocked the door. And when I unlocked the door, you go in and it doesn't lead straight into the room. There's like a little small area, probably about 4 foot square, where I don't know, where you hang your coats, shoes, something like that. So yeah, I went into there, and then I locked the door behind me, and then I opened the door to the room, went into the room. It was an old style room. There was a big double bed in there. It just seemed quite old, quite kind of, had like this musty smell in the air. It was quite a spacious room, but it was old, and it had this weird feeling, like I don't know, kind of like a dim, old, depressing feeling. It did have an ensuite toilet, which was good, but I'll talk about that a bit later. Anyway, I'd arranged to meet one of my friends, or a couple of my friends, for a few drinks that night. So I sat on the bed, I unpacked my things, and I was texting one of my friends, to say, you know, yeah, we can meet and everything. And I had this weird feeling that I was being watched. I'd never really had that feeling before, not like that in a room by myself, because I knew at that point, this was like 21 years ago, there were no cameras, there was nothing like that. It just felt weird, but I just thought, well, it's just probably me, you know, thinking about how old the room is, and if, you know, it's a bit depressing looking kind of thing. So anyway, I texted my friend and we arranged to meet. So yeah, all good times. I went out then. I locked my door behind me, and I spoke to my parents before. I said, right, I'm going out for a few drinks. It was near Christmas, so you know, there's bound to be a lot of people out. So yeah, I went out in Stamford. I met my friend, and yeah, we had a really good time, I must admit. We went around a few pubs, went to the Millstone, I remember, in particular. It was, you know, there were people in there that were singing, there was music going on. There were people that I'd seen in there that I hadn't seen for years, and we'd got together and we'd talked and, you know, shook hands and everything like that. And it was a really good night. So yeah, at the end, it got to about midnight kind of time. The pubs were kicking out, and we finished for the night. So we left the pub, and I walked part of the way back with my friend. I said to him, "I'll see you next time, mate. It was a good crack, you know. We're gonna get pizza now. I haven't been to Stamford for a few years." And he gave me the directions to a good pizza place. So I went to this pizza place near the Model chip shop in Stamford, and I got the most amazing pizza. It was a doner pizza. I'd never had a doner pizza before. It was really good. I got that, and I walked home with it, eating it slice by slice. I walked down Red Lion Square. I walked through. I can't remember the name of the little, was it Cattle Market or something? I can't remember. But I ended up walking across the meadows, and then I made my long trek all the way back up High Street St Martin's towards the Garden House Hotel. I passed the George Hotel, which is like quite a famous hotel in Stamford anyway. There've been like a few celebrities stay there in the past. It's like a 5-star hotel. But I walked up the road and I got to the end of the road where the Garden House Hotel was. I got there, I went in, there was no one else in. By this time it was probably, I don't know, probably about 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 or 2 a.m, something like that. So I went inside, I went up the stairs to my room, and when I looked left and right, I looked left, there was just a wall because it was in the corner. I looked to my right, it was just an empty hotel corridor with red carpet and just the lights on, sort of dim lights on, you know, but no one was around at all. It was completely silent. So I went into my room, I unlocked the door, and I went into that first 4x4 foot space. Remember I told you about that? I locked the door behind me, the main door to the corridor, and I went into my bedroom. Now by this time, I probably had about 5 or 6 pints of lager, and I was tired, it was quite late, and I thought, I'm just going to go to bed. There's nothing that's going to wake me up now. I'm just crashing out, basically. I'm going to get on the bed, crash out, and that's it. So that's what I did. Turned the light off, got in bed, out like a light. Then, and I'm a light sleeper anyway, quite a light sleeper, but when I've had a few beers, not such a light sleeper. But there was a noise that suddenly woke me up. and it was this rattling noise, and it was going on and on and on and on and on, and I thought, what the hell is that? I thought, I don't care what it is. I've had a few beers, my head feels like lead, nothing's going to get me out of bed right now. But then it just kept on and on and on and on and on, and I thought, what the hell? What is it? It's disturbing me out of my sleep now. So that's when I decided to sit up in my bed. Now, bear in mind, I had the lights off, so it was completely pitch black. I could not see anything. I sat up in my bed, and I looked, and I looked, and I looked, and I sat there until my eyes got adjusted to the dark. And then I saw something moving, and I thought, what the hell? And I looked closer, and I saw it was the handle to my bedroom door. It was like a normal handle, not like a knob, it was a handle. And it was just going like this, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. I was like, what the hell? But bearing in mind I was half asleep, had a few beers, I thought, what? I'm not really that, it didn't scare me as such. But I was just looking at it thinking, what's going on? So I turned my light on. I had a light by the side of my bed. Turned the lights onto the room. As soon as I turned the lights onto the room, it stopped. Completely stopped. So I got out of bed and I thought, who is doing this? I walked over to the door. I opened the door, and yeah, I was in the 4x4 foot little entrance hall thing. No one there, obviously, because the other door to the corridor was locked. There was nothing above. There was just 4 walls, ceiling. That was it, like a couple of coat hooks or something. And I thought, what the hell? So I unlocked the main door, opened it, looked down the corridor. Nothing. Absolute silence. Just a red carpet going along. Just the dim lights. Not a soul. And I thought, that is weird. I thought, well, whatever, I'm going back to sleep. I need to sleep now. I'm absolutely knackered. So, yeah, I went back in, locked the door, went back into my room, closed the inner door behind me, got back into bed, put the lights off. That's it, I'm going to sleep. About 10 minutes later, the noise started again. And it was going on and on and on and on. And I thought, what the hell, I really don't care. And then from the ensuite toilet, there was like a door open to the bathroom. The toilet started making really weird, like gurgling noises, like, it's hard to explain, but it was like bubbling, gurgling noises coming from the toilet, quite loud. And I thought, what the hell? And I sort of like half sat up in bed and I thought, what's going on? And then I heard all around the bed, the floorboards started to creak, almost like footsteps going around the bed. And at that point, after a few beers, this had never happened before, probably will never happen again, I don't know, but I started to get scared for my life. And I started to think, what the hell? And I started to think, I'm going to see something in a minute, aren't I? And I thought, what the hell? So I just shouted, this is not fucking funny anymore. And I put the light on. I shouted at the top of my voice. And as soon as I put the light on, everything stopped. The gurgling stopped, the floorboard stopped, the handle stopped going. So I got out of my bed, the lights on, and there was a TV at the foot of the bed, like further down, probably about 4 or 5 feet away. So I turned that on, and it was just some crap playing, like Channel 4 or something, I don't know what it was. But anyway, I put that on, I put it down low, and then I just got back into bed. I didn't turn the lights off, didn't turn the TV off, and all I remember then. The last thing I remember, I put my head down and I thought to myself, I can't believe like I'm like 25, 26 years old and I have to sleep with the lights on. I felt kind of ashamed that I have to do that. Anyway, the next morning, my parents woke me up because we had a breakfast at like 8 a.m. Now, bear in mind, by the time I actually went to sleep, it was probably more like 4, 5 a.m. So anyway, I went downstairs and my parents' room happened to be directly below mine. They looked, one look at me and they said, "You look absolutely awful. You got bags under your eyes. You look terrible." And I said, "Well, I'm not surprised. Didn't you hear all those noises last night? You know, all the, handles going and floorboards creaking and all this." And they said, "No, didn't hear a thing." And I said, "Well, that's very strange." And I told them about it. I said, "Right, the handle was going to my door like this." And they said, "It's kids, isn't it? It's kids." And I said, "What, at 3 o'clock in the morning? Kids? Besides, no one could get access to the inner door to my room because you had that 4x4 foot enclosure before you get to the main door, and that was locked." And we were sat there, and there was a whole crowded room full of people having the breakfast, and there were waiting staff coming round giving the breakfast out. They said to me, "Tell them then." "Okay, just tell them." And I thought, no, I just feel like an idiot, telling them. I felt embarrassed, so I declined to tell them. Anyway, I was supposed to be staying there the next night, and I said to them, "No, I am not staying here one more night. I refuse." So after a little bit of heated discussion with my dad, he challenged the staff there. They gave us a refund for that night, that second night, and I went and stayed over the road at the Bull and Swan pub in Stamford. And that was absolutely fine. That was nothing. I was in there, I was in my little room, and I thought to myself, is it going to be, because of the night I had before, is it going to be a scary night? But that was fine, that was normal. That was, I got a good night's sleep, it was fine, absolutely fine. And then, that was it, we went home, and I thought to myself, before that I was very sceptical about ghosts. But now, no. I do believe that there is a paranormal side, and especially in that hotel. Now, a few years later, I decided, after thinking about this and telling a few people this story at a late night barbecue, that I'm going to research this. So I researched ghosts in Lincolnshire, haunted hotels, and the Garden House Hotel came up as one of them. And it said the staff working there had reported that in room 18 there had been things moving across the room by themselves and different weird things happening. There was a ghost there, I think some old man or something. Now that was the room right next to mine. So yeah, what do you think? Anyway, have a good night, guys. Happy Halloween, and don't have nightmares. As they say in Crime Watch, do sleep well. Join me for the next video on Trip Vlog 101, which will be not a story like this, it will be an actual adventure. See you later. If you like this video, please like, subscribe. I will post my videos down here and here. So yeah, take care of yourselves, guys, and sleep well.